Good morning, everyone. Anne Frank once famously wrote that no one ever became poor by giving charity. And Albert Einstein once said that it's every man's obligation to put back into the world at least as much as he took out of it. The Hasidic masters say that the name of Hashem is Yud Hey Vav Kei. It's the Tetragrammaton. And if you look at the four letters, the Yud is like a little dot. So they say that it's a coin, like it looks like a little coin, a little dot. And then you put your hand in your pocket with your 5 fingers and you take out the coin. This is the letter Hey for the 5 fingers. Then you stretch out your hand to the poor man. That's like the letter Vav. And then you put it in the poor man's hand with his 5 fingers. That's the letter Hey. And you put it into the letter Hey, so you have Yud Hey Vav Kei. The act of giving charity, taking a coin out of your pocket and putting it in a poor man's hand, is the closest we can get to Hashem in this world. This week's Parsha, we have Parshat HaMoadim, the Jewish festivals, Pesach, Shavuos, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. But right in the middle, right after Pesach and Shavuos, before we go on to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, the Parsha talks about the mitzvah of charity. In biblical times, there were 3 special commandments: Leket, Shikha, and Peah. Leket was, the Torah says, that when you glean your field, if you drop 1 or 2 bushels of grain, you can't pick it up. You have to leave it in the field for the poor man to take. Shikha is, if you forgot to harvest 1 or 2 bushels, you have to leave it behind. And Peah is that you have to leave 1 corner of your field for the poor people. 3 forms of agricultural charity for the poor. And right in the middle of the holiday section, after Pesach and Shavuot, before we get to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, the Torah talks about these laws of providing for the poor with these 3 forms of charity. So Rashi asks, what is the laws of Matnat Aniyim, the gifts for the poor? Why is that right in the middle, sandwiched in between the holidays? And Rashi says something unbelievable. Rashi says that the Torah is teaching us that whoever takes care of the poor and gives them charity, takes care of Tzedakah, it's as though they built the Bet HaMikdash, they built the Holy Temple, and brought all of the sacrifices. Because on the holidays in the temple times, they brought Karbanot. Today we don't have a Bet HaMikdash. How could you build the Bet HaMikdash and bring Karbanot today in 2019? Says the Torah, by giving to the poor. So Rav Moshe Feinstein says, what's the connection? Why Tzedakah? And he quotes the famous pasuk, Tzion b'mishpat tipadeh v'shaveh b'tzedakah. What will bring the ingathering of the exiles? What will bring Mashiach? What will bring the rebuilding of the temple? Charity. V'shaveh b'tzedakah. It's through charity. So if you gave your charity properly, even if others didn't, and therefore Mashiach and the temple wasn't rebuilt, but for you it's as though you brought all the karbanot and sacrificed them like in the times of the Bet HaMikdash. That's how great the mitzvah of tzedakah is. But perhaps another way to look at it is as follows. What are the holidays? Holidays are our celebration of life. We're thanking God for our blessings. Whatever holiday it is, we're thanking God for those blessings. Rosh Hashanah, we lived another year. Pesach, for the exodus from Egypt. Every holiday has something that we're grateful for. So part and parcel of being grateful, says the Torah, is to show your gratitude. How do you show your gratitude? By giving some of your blessings to others, by caring about those who are needy. And by giving tzedakah, you show your true gratitude because you're willing to give an offering, a sacrifice to Hashem, just like in the times of the Bet HaMikdash, a Jew brought a karban. Rav Pam once said that the Torah says you should love Hashem with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. All your heart means with your heart. With your soul, the Talmud says, even if it means giving up your life. With your might means with all of your resources, with your wealth. So Rapam said the last generation went through the Holocaust, their test was to give up their life, literally, for Hashem. But we in 2019, most of us don't have to do that, thank God. What is the test of this generation? Not b'chol nafshecha, if we're willing to give up our lives, but if we're willing to give up our resources for tzedakah to help others. They tell a story about a man who died, he came to heaven. And they take him to one room, and he sees hundreds of angels running, coming, the busy room. He says, what's this room? What's going on? Hundreds of angels running. They say, this is the shipping department. We process all the requests of people, of what they want, and we ship them out to people like the Amazon in heaven. You know, he needs this, he needs that, bracha here, bracha there. We're busy, hundreds of angels, shipping department. He says, wow, big operation here. Latest technology. Then he goes to another room. He sees one angel sitting there at a desk, opening letters. He says, what's this? What do you do? He says, I have a part-time job here. I work 4 hours a day. What do you do? Only one angel part-time. He says, this is the customer satisfaction department. This is where we process the thank you letters from people who are happy with what they received in life. So Hashem floods you with blessings, flood him with gratitude, with thank you. And how do you do that? You can't bring a karban in the Beit HaMikdash. When you see a poor man and you give him tzedakah, remember, the yud is the coin, the hey is the hand, the kaf with the 5 fingers. When you stretch it out, it's the vav. And you put it in the poor man's hand, is the hey. You're connected to Hashem on the highest level.